Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
The battle for 7th place today in Wrocław, Poland. From Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV, welcome to the 2025 Men's Lacrosse Championship in Europe, where France, the 7-seeded 4-3, battles the 4-2 5th seed Germany, or the 4th seed Germany. Hi everybody and welcome. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Steven Stamp. Quite simple. The winner of this game captures 7th place in the final spot in Japan in 2 years for the World Lacrosse Championship. Two teams had the day off yesterday to prepare for this one. 8th game in 10 days for France, 7th in 9 for Germany. With France in the white on white, Germany in the black on black, and what's turned into a hot Saturday afternoon in southwest Poland as we're underway. Where the ground ball picked up by David Beckman and the trip by France, so Germany with the opening possession.
And one thing for these teams, of course, such an important game, and they're both coming in having lost their last 2 games. In a little different fashion, the Germans outscored 21-14. The French outscored 29-9 in their last 2. That makes it hard to come in believing that you're ready to go.
And both teams handle things differently. Germany spent the day yesterday at Aqua Park Wrocław, totally off their feet, while France with an extended film session. They also had the day off in terms of practice, but a lot of film on this German team. Feed to the front and behind the back shot. Joe Varela is able to come up with the denial on Moritz Spiegel. Varela in goal, the primary starter all tournament for France. We'll go to the German starters here while we have a moment, as Moritz Spiegel is in the midfield with Houston Wismar and Winton Bastian. Then the attack starts with Soren Spiegel, Mark Brandenberger, and Lasse Volkwartsen. Here's Volkwartsen, who had a big game. 5 of the 6 goals against Ireland, and a loss 3 nights ago in the quarterfinal matchup in the 5-versus-4 game. Volkwartsen against the sturdy defense of Jack Snyder. Bastian on the bouncer, and that's wide of Varela. Defensively for France, it's Jack Snyder with Kata Christoph and Danny Gratton, with the long stick midfielder in Matt Hill. Wismar against Justin Rosenberg, who will play a lot and perhaps not exit the field today for France in the finale of this tournament for both teams.
He's got to come off at some point, but don't expect the breaks to be long for Rosenberg.
Off the face dodge, perhaps side netting there, if not Varela getting a piece on that drive from Soren Spiegel.
Spiegel and his brother Moritz Spiegel, I know they are excited to be playing, I believe the first time, is it not for them, playing together on this national team.
Brandenberger gives it up. Then off the face dodge, and then Rosenberger is able to pick the pocket. Just a subtle trail check on Houston Wismar to poke it free, and now Rosenberg, who is a highlight film just on the clear. And he looks very fresh, particularly after a day off. And Rosenberg will cross here for France. Rosenberg is joined by Emil Sasson-Lawless. And look out for number 9 in white, the health of Gabriel Fury, another big-time player in the midfield. Lucas Goller on the attack with Lucas Menendez and James Barlow. The offense for France. And in goal, Mikhail Zinoviev for Germany.
Realistically, at this point in the tournament, everyone is banged up to an extent. Everyone is battling to stay healthy, but Fury is one key player that has been having a few issues that we were wondering how he's going to be today.
Let's watch him on this first dodge. And then Fury will take the shot from distance. Zinoviev will make the save. So some stutter step that he was able to pull off there. But the overpass handled by big Kata Christoph as he'll cross and quickly fire it ahead for Lucas Menendez, and France right back with it.
Interesting to see as we start this game off, is there some jitters because it's such a big game and everyone having had the day off? I know some teams that have had yesterday off were saying they'd rather just keep rolling. Some were like, no, the day off is great.
Sasson-Lawless works on the pole before outside to Thomas Daye boost, and he could not corral that pass. And Winton Bastian will come up with a clear defensively in front of Zinoviev quickly. Fritz Kleinhempel is joined by Jake Steinfels, the long pole midi, and David Beckman.
And Beckman will go as the first goal of the game. Comes off the stick of Winton Bastian. Came from seemingly nothing He just lets it fly, sliding across the top here. And you can see there's not a whole lot. It looks like Fury is actually looking back to see what's coming, if there's anything else coming to with Bastion. And Bastion just has the open space and lets it fly.
Now Bastion shot the ball incredibly well in this tournament. He starts us at 1-0 with the unassisted tally.
13 goals for Bastion coming in. That's 14. They have 16 players who have scored goals. A few of those are guys that just got 1 goal or 2 goals. Sometimes some of them against Ukraine because they had a big, like 23-goal game in their opener.
Adrian Prefontaine wins the faceoff from Germany. And they handle from Paul Lefebvre, D-Midi. And now Sasson Lawless. France yesterday spending a lot of time in film session about this German defense. How will they slide? Germany so well organized under Coach Perkinson, the defensive coordinator, under head coach Adam Marshall, offensive coordinator Julius Stedlin. Menendez. And Menendez able to turn the corner briefly, but a deep shot, Genoviev is able to make the save and outlet easily here to Ritaro Fujita. Beckman pushes to the wing, Soren Spiegel, and Germany is in with a lead and the ball.
Beckman with a cut through the middle. He will stay at times, even with the long pole. He is quite comfortable staying up in the offensive zone. And even now, he's peeling back in and sticking around.
Germany with Moritz Spiegel. Germany, the last 2 games, particularly the Ireland game in the 5-4 quarterfinal, played through a steady rain. It rained even in the entire afternoon, and they never really adjusted to the settings, the conditions of that one. Ireland did much better. They trailed 7-0 in a stunner, and the air was out of the building very early on for them. Vismer frees up the hands, and Vismer, well, 2 long-distance shots beat Varela. Unassisted tally, 2-0 Germany.
Vismer's 12th of the tournament. There are 4 Germans who have scored double-digit goals. We've just seen 2 of them in Vismer. A very similar looking play where he's just running into a space, getting half a step, in this case on Giacotto, and the French are just, we wondered who's going to come out sharp. So far, the Germans looking more on top of their timing.
Prefontaine won the last face-off for France. This time, Anton Nutzmann will win it back for the Germans, and off to the D-Midi in Timo Sander. And Germany back with possession. And then Germany 2 days ago against Czechia, losing an overtime game, 9-8. They had a 6-3 lead. Czechia was able to battle back, force an overtime. Germany won the face-off, and it was also raining, I think, mostly lightly then.
It was still wet, though. I mean, it was still slick. They were still adjusting, and that was a great game. And honestly, it was a shame to see either team have to lose.
And Czechia battled back. Germany had won the face-off in overtime, but there is no timeouts granted to the coaches in overtime. Germany lost the ball after that. Czechia would go in and score. A real coin flip of a game to settle into this one, where we have the 4 seed taking on the 7 in a win and get into the World Championship in Japan game today in 2 years. Santowski and the patient set for Volkwartsen. And Volkwartsen will shoot, and the German shooting today has been tremendous to start the game. 3-0.
And we mentioned before, just moments ago, 4 German players had double-digit goals coming into this game. 3 of them have now scored on really very similar plays. This one a little bit further down the alley. But again, just getting half a step on the defender, and that's giving them open shooting space, and they're taking advantage.
Yeah, 3 nights ago, Lasse Volkwartsen, 5 of the 6 goals against the Germans in that 12-6 quarterfinal loss, where he looked comfortable and tried to will his team back in the game. Here's a face-off win from Remy Giacotto, and then Giacotto is dispossessed. Ground ball from Fujita.
Fujita will do a lot for Germany at both ends. One of the captains of this team, a real veteran and calming presence. But he also, we saw him earlier, taking off in transition with Beckman, and that I think is one thing the Germans will look, is to occasionally really push and run a speed game.
Mikhail Zinoviev can now take some air to the ball for a second. Germany subbing on, and back to the first midfield, and Houston Wismar. 3-0 Germany, 3 unassisted goals. And Germany trying to get back to what worked well prior to the loss against Ireland, moving the ball very well. And of course the conditions basically radically changed the game. And now a bouncer will go for Bastion down the left alley. 4-0 Germany.
And hate to beat a dead horse, but this trend is just continuing of Germans just getting a step. In this case, about 3 steps. The slide is coming, it's way late, and it's almost like every goal they're having more and more room. You talked about Germany getting behind Ireland in the conditions. They're playing these conditions perfectly. I mean, they're perfect conditions. Remember the Czech-German game in the overtime? That it was so slick, and Kaden Vlasimski actually fell on what turned out to be the winning goal, popped up and made an incredible play to drive off with 1 foot in those conditions, and that's what got him space. And he had less space than the Germans have had on any of these shots.
Important timeout taken by France, trailing 4-0. And France has had the ball a couple times, have forced shots from distance. Head coach Dylan Snyder to talk it over with his team. And the 2 looks from the perimeter, but also the space, Stephen, if you commented on. Right now, France trying to make things more difficult on Germany.
Yeah, they're going to have to, right? I mean, they need to change this up because otherwise they're going to get in a hole that they can't. It's already a hole that's going to be difficult to climb out of. You can never dig yourself into a hole, the old saying, because if you dig, you're just going deeper. But climbing out of that hole, and France getting here, they won their opening game 14-4 over Denmark. They beat Slovakia 12-5. A loss to Italy 15-9. A win over Greece 10-9 on that late trickler, the last second goal. An 8-7 win over Switzerland. An 18-4 loss to England that was really, I mean, I think people expected England to win, but 18-4, and then the 11-5 loss to Latvia. It just feels like France has not had a game where everything's come together. And obviously they're hoping it's today. Certainly it's not starting that way.
Yeah, that's the same exact point that Dylan Snyder made to me before the game, that to this point, they watched so much film, of course, on Germany, a lot of recovery stuff to stay on their feet, hydrating often. But bottom line, we have to play a low-mistake game today against the Germans, because you generally don't expect Germany to make a lot of mistakes. And France, even in their wins that have been lopsided, a couple of them, they have made too many mistakes to even match the team that they beat with the unforced errors.
It's interesting when you talked about playing a low-mistake game. It makes sense, but sometimes, does that make you tentative? Is that why they're half a step behind?
Gabriel Fury, Justin Rosenberg's first shot is off target.
He is holding. He's looking a little uncomfortable after that. Maybe he's just unhappy with the shot.
Lucas Menendez, and can his quickness be a thorn in the side of Germany today in terms of dodging? Fury gets through Steinfeld's. Another outside shot, that I think off the stick and perhaps grazing pipe the way it deflected out.
Yeah, it definitely got off of the pipe. And the nice thing with Fury, you can see how quickly he did get the hand change in the release on that shot. He looks like he's moving quite well. I don't think he's moving a ton.
Emil Sasson-Lawless, he'll likely be shorted up the entire afternoon. Skip for Rosenberg. Tophoven trying on the recovery to force the righty off. He does. Menendez got the step. Save made Zinoviev. That's chance as France looked better in the possession, but still nothing to show for it.
Pretty good look, and you're just going to have to bury some of those. And I mean, France has had more close-up opportunities than Germany has had through the whole game so far. Germany's just hitting their shots.
Zinoviev with James Barlow trying to come after him. And leaves here for Marius Butz. Butz, Steinfels, Kleinhempel. The defenders with Beckman. And so far have kept France off the board. And the turn and the clear for the Germans from Luis Stetska, who will get a midfield run, second midfield. This is a rare hot day in Poland during this tournament, where actually hydrating is a factor and depth and running a second midfield is a factor.
That's where the day off could be really helpful for both teams, as they have been playing. As you said, they've been playing a bunch of games here, but a drive to the net, the Germans don't seem to be having much trouble with energy.
Room and time, Leon Bohm, as his shot is off target. And both teams have had 2 days off. For France, 8th game in 10 days. Germany, 7th in 9. Brandon Berger. And Brandon Berger trying to work through Kata Christoph. Now on the righty drive, not much room to operate for Jacob Bockerman. Off the hitch and the fake, Stetska. Stetska will continue, frees his hands, and Varela comes up with an important save to keep it at 4-0. But the overpass will be gathered here by Kleinhempel, and Germany back with it.
With the heat, it's an adjustment because it has been cold, so having to play all these defensive shifts, those turnovers can really compound.
30-year-old Joe Varela in goal for France. Played collegiately in West Virginia at Alderson Brodus College. Says he still feels very good at this age. France with a very good goalkeeping situation with backup goalie, youngster 20-year-old Quentin Richer, who is impressed in his limited time. Brandon Berger on the other side against Grattan. And a early keep it in here against the Germans. His possession barely started. Now out in front, trying to get to his left hand is Bockerman. He could not, but somehow the ball goes in. Jacob Bockerman continued to force his way back, and it's 5-0.
Just the second goal of the tournament for Bockerman, and he never looked like he was looking for a shot. To me, I mean, he's kind of having a peek at the goal, but he pretty much seemed to be just looking for his teammates and gets it across quite successfully. And
it's Lassie Volkwartson, Stephen, that gets the goal.
Yeah, Volkwartson, he is a big-time scorer, of course. But, man, that's the closest chance the Germans have had. That's the first time they've actually been in tight to get a shot off.
Bockerman will get an assist, and in self-preservation got rid of the ball in traffic. Timeout now taken by Germany after their face-off win with 20 seconds to go. And Germany has played a near-flawless opening quarter, 5-0 in the battle for 7th place. And Coach Adam Marshall will spend the timeout. He's from the Denver, Colorado area, but has lived in Germany now a long time. He was at the University of Denver, tried out for the team under Jamie Munro, but loves lacrosse and wanted to get into coaching and did so while he was a collegiate undergrad.
I think one of the interesting things to watch that we're going to see, I would think a bit more as we go, is on the German defensive end. They haven't had to play a whole lot, but one of the combo that they have going on there, they've got Jake Steinfels, a veteran, the 36-year-old, who's he's the oldest player on the team. He's been playing for 20-plus years. He has an interesting point. Cool uncle with season tickets to the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he is the oldest player on the team. The youngest player, Marius Boots, was playing in Limerick in the U21s, then went to San Diego. He is very young, and they are quite a pair back there. You've got Kleinhempel as well, but those two really seem to play well off each other for guys that are a generation apart in German lacrosse, basically.
Look, the same effective system that Europe has known for the better part of the last 2 decades. Out of the timeout, Wismar. 12 seconds left. Germany with a set play to come out. Moritz Spiegel. Spiegel with 6 seconds to go. Spiegel trying to force the issue, and then a soft play shot. A dodge and then redodge for Moritz Spiegel. 6-0 Germany with 3 seconds left in the opening quarter.
Spiegel driving in and gets Gabriel Fardin, and just gets the angle. You can see him get around the corner, and there's just nothing between him and the net, and that's been a theme for this German team, that they are just really winning one-on-one matchups.
Four different goal scorers in the opening quarter for the Germans. Nutzman and Giacoto. There won't be a winner, but there could be a winner to this one based on the way the Germans have played. Is this enough already to capture the 7th and final spot out of Europe for the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship in Japan. 4th-seeded Germany, 6-0 over 7th-seeded France as we head to the second quarter from Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Six 0 Germany at the start of the second quarter. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Steven Stamp from Wrocław, Poland, bringing you coverage of the Men's European Lacrosse Championship. This is the battle for 7th place on the final day of the tournament. Significant because it is the final spot to qualify for the World Lacrosse Championship in Japan in 2027. And Germany has come out and played near perfect, Steven. Face-off win from Remy Giacoto. And for France, perhaps dismayed, Germany has shot the ball tremendous. Perhaps they are 6 of 9 would be my guess.
That's pretty close. And if you're France, my question is how do you, I mean, it's such a hard hole to get out of, such a deficit to overcome. How do you do it? There's a shot, and that's not rhetorical. I don't know how you overcome this 6-0 deficit.
Gabriel
Certainly
Fury
playing very differently than you have so far.
Fury with the spin and the drop step took the first rip. And now France, and look at Steinfels all over Lucas Geller. And the reach by Rosenberg, and Lucas Geller pursues, and he will come up with the ground ball. France has won 2 one-goal games in this tournament, but Geller stepped across the far sideline, and France ends up with just 1 shot.
It does feel to me like if France is going to get this rolling, a guy that we haven't really said much about today is that one's thrown away. James Barlow, 15 goals, their leading goal scorer. We haven't talked about him. He can be pretty quiet during games, but then he's there. If they can get him finding space, maybe that's how they get it turned around. The Germans know that too, though.
Justin Rosenberg has been held to just 1 shot. Dynamic midfielder who is a very strong, likely to be on the first team All-Europe. Certainly has my vote, Stephen. As talented a player as this tournament has, and with all the attention upon him, he has still found ways to produce at a high volume, not just goals and assists, but in the clear and defensively. And here's the second timeout that will be taken here by France, early second quarter. So France still trying to regroup. Where do they need to go here just to find a quality possession and a goal?
Yeah, and again, I think you've got to find James Barlow. You've got to, I think, open things up a little bit and get him in the middle, because that's where he's been successful. That's where they've found success, is to create those spaces by spreading it out. Interesting with Justin Rosenberg, Bill Searle and I were calling a France game earlier in the tournament, and we were saying, because we're all picking highlights for the evening show, which you should all catch, the 5th quarter tonight with Marcin Stanishevsky. And the thing we were saying was just put Justin Rosenberg on the clear. We actually said one day his clear for this game is probably the highlight of the game. He is a dynamic player. If you can get Rosenberg drawing attention, and hope you can get the Germans overextending. You open up Barlow, you open up the other guys down low. But, I mean, the Germans are very disciplined.
France losing yesterday to Latvia 11-5. That clinched fifth-seeded Latvia's berth in Japan, where they were heavily out-faced off by Vinny Facciapanti, another likely first-team All-Europe player. He's got the consensus of the broadcasters.
He's been so good in so many ways. Good face-off guy, strong in the offensive end, strong in the defensive end. Just seems like whatever was happening for Latvia, he was in the middle of it or near it.
And then a quarterfinal loss to two-seeded England, 18-4. They trailed in that game 9-0 before playing a better second half. Menendez was able to get topside and separate from the defender, but the shot is wide.
And that was probably their best chance. We saw the enclosed chance in the first quarter, but that one Menendez seemed to have a little bit more shooting space, a little more freedom with his hands.
Now Fury against the defensive midi. Tophoven trying to stay with Rosenberg. And the second slide was there pretty quickly. Goaler. Fury, can he push off? Gives it off. And Goaler, natural lefty, did not take the look. Fury does! Oh, and this time takes a page out of Germany's book with precision shooting. Gabriel Fury, 6-1.
Beautiful plant by Fury here. He just buries. He does not even take a step once he catches that ball. It's all torque, wings it around. And I was watching that possession thinking, James Barlow looks open about 3 times. But then you take a look and you're like, maybe those passing lanes, the Germans are just filling them. So they take the easier pass on the outside, and Fury makes that work.
Lucas Goaler on the assist. Nutzman with Giacoto in a long stalemate. And Giacoto will pursue and come up with it. As he races past David Beckman. Giacoto all the way to cage, then eventually is tripped up. Well, he saw a brief opening, decided to take it, and the outlet for the pole, Beckman, and Germany with possession.
And sometimes one goal can just make a team look different on the field. I think France, after that goal, looked like they've got more spark.
Moritz Spiegel will slow it down. And back to the first midfield for the Germans that got an extended break. Late first quarter. And they'll bring back Bastian Wismer and Moritz Spiegel. Brandenburger, room and time to walk in for the goal. No backside slide. And Lasse Volkwartsen could have walked into the crease, 7-1.
Volkwartsen just so dangerous, truly ambidextrous guy. And Brandenburger, the longtime veteran, has just 6 goals in this tournament, but came in with 13 assists. And the assists are a little hit and miss, whether they're awarded. He should get that one for sure. But he has been playing such a feeder role, and he has such great vision out on the field.
Third for Lasse Volkwartsen, who can't wait to start his collegiate career at Division II Southern New Hampshire in Manchester, New Hampshire, coming up next spring. He was in the States last year. He ended up having to redshirt, and this is a tremendous tune-up for him.
He should take a trip up to Durham and check it out. I went to school, actually, University of New Hampshire in Durham. Gorgeous area, gorgeous part of the world. But I think Durham's nicer than Manchester, personally.
Well, Manchester's on the rise, though.
It is.
Slip pass here for Volkwartsen. High pass brought down, and another goal, Soren Spiegel. Well, they must have worked at shooting at the water park yesterday, Stephen. It's 8-1.
Spiegel and his brother Moritz both have goals now. 2 of the last 3 for Germany. And Soren Spiegel, again, just finding a little bit of space. And it's just time after time. We're just seeing the Germans are getting the best of almost every situation.
Volkwartsen will get an assist. Every shot seems to be in rhythm, forward momentum. Nutzman, a face-off win. Beckman wanted to get involved. Discipline back to Mark Brandenberger.
You go back and watch that last Spiegel goal again, and I'm just looking to see who's covering him, because he seems to be in between. I mean, obviously he's got Keita Christoph there in front of him, but Christoph is a step behind. Nobody's coming. He didn't literally had 2 long poles, neither with a stick on him as he takes that shot.
Stetska with Sontowski and Jacob Beckerman produced a goal in the first quarter when they got a run in the second midfield. Skip pass recovered by Stetska.
That's a nice little pickup.
Then Volkwartson, and that was a heat check shot fading away. Skips one in that Varela makes the stop on.
That's a pretty nice
check
luxury.
that rather, Quentin Richer
has come in.
For
That's
France,
not a bad call.
For France in goal, just 20 years old. And France just thinking about how they can change the flow of this game. And Dylan Snyder at least changing goalies there. So that must have occurred perhaps between quarters.
And it's a luxury for Germany to be able to run their second midfield, to be able to run in their subs. And on this day that is hotter than we've seen all tournament.
Fury has both. 8-2, Gabriel Fury then also showing he has a little bit of lift in those legs that have been hobbling him.
Yeah, he gets a little hops there. He goes up, dead overhand. Beautiful shot to the far top corner. And I've been calling a lot of games with Bill Searle this week. And we've been saying, first of all, when it's wet, you get those strange skips. You want to go bouncers. You want to go high to low, change the plane. If you're going to go high to high, you'd better have a rocket. Gabriel Fury has a rocket.
A promising sign for France. And they will need a lot more from him. They get some help from Snyder, the pole, but the chase down by Beckman. 6 minutes to go, second quarter. Germany led this game 6-0. And we're on the verge of maybe putting the game fully to bed. Before Fury came up with an answer, it's a 2-2 second quarter. Moritz Spiegel gets a brush screen on Paul Lefebvre. His shot is wide of Quentin Richer. Quentin Richer, a fascinating story. He's lived in Norway, Switzerland recently, but he is from Snohomish, Washington, just 20 years old, did not play high school lacrosse, self-trained, and they found him very randomly. He watched all the videos, and he looks like a real player. He is going to attend school at Nottingham Trent in England, which has become an English college lacrosse power in the Bucks. That's Volkwartson and a bouncer that beats Richer low to the near pipe. 9-2, Lasse Volkwartson having a game with his fourth.
I have to admit, my first thought was that was on the backside of the net, but he actually slides it through the 5-hole, and boy, they just keep rolling.
Nine to 2 Germany, shooting a crazy percentage here on this hot turf. And now we're seeing Germany play to their potential. They were sidetracked by the bad weather and Ireland's tremendous defense. Give Ireland sensational credit. And Ireland handled that so much better as procedure is called. But this is the team we expected to see at some point late in this tournament, Stephen Stamp.
People were surprised, right?
Yep.
The Ireland game, the Czech game, that nobody thought Germany would be in this game. And that can be a tough one, but they've responded very, very well. Interesting, the last goal by Volkwartson was maybe the best coverage France has had defensively on any of these German goals. That actually was a great shot by Volkwartson. Maybe a bit of a screen for Richer, but I mean, slight consolation, but France did have a better defensive position.
And yet another face-off win with 3.5 to play. Suntowski fakes the flip pass for Leon Bohm. Jack Snyder extending out. Stetska, he's met by Rosenberg, who jars the ball free. Bohm pursues. Bohm with a knockdown of a player, but Rosenberg will sweep it up. And now he has a chance to run. Thought for a second we might see another punt return clear from him, but then he gives it up. And
That's still probably the highlight of the game for France, is that hit and that ground ball recovery and getting that clear going.
Movement for Sasson Lawless and the drop-off. Now a shot from the wing. Zinoviev, I think the save low, and the ground ball was found by Marius Butz on the shot from Lucas Menendez. Zinoviev down the middle and under no pressure. And the man to check back for the ball is Moritz Spiegel.
There really was no pressure. It looked for a moment like he might have to go to Steinfels, and he just said, no, just throw it straight up the middle, and away we go.
Alquartson will spin up top. He has 4 of the 9. Winton Bastion with 2. Vismer, natural lefty, gives it up. Brandenburger. And then Rosenberg, he clearly got the arm around the head of Mark Brandenburger, who shot the gap. That's a call, and Rosenberg knows it. He's going in for 30 seconds on the hold.
Yeah, there's no question on that one. And it's not that often the player presents zero argument. But number 0 for France just says, oh, yeah, I got tangled up. That's the first penalty in this game.
Richer steps this time to the shot of Bastion, a little bit further out than most of Germany's shots. Quick restart, Bastion this time closer, and he misses target. Moritz Spiegel, Vismer, Bastion again, this time from medium range, sticks the shot. Winton Bastion with 3. Germany up 10-2 late in the opening half.
And Bastion absolutely stepping into this. I think Vismer made just enough of a fake down the middle, looking like he might shoot, might pass it straight down the slot. Instead, flips it over. And Bastion, I mean, that is basically practice, having that much space to just let her fly. You can change to 7 or 8 different goalies. None of them are stopping that shot.
Man-up goal for Germany. 45 seconds left. The clock will stop on any whistle with under 30 to go in the first 3 quarters, last 2 of the 4th. Face-off win for Nutzmann. And Germany a chance to get one more, and Coach Adam Marshall knows he has a timeout, and he's going to use it here with 36 seconds remaining. And Germany has put on quite the display of just getting back to themselves. That was the focus of the German coaching staff. After reviewing the film, I got the sense, Stephen, they pretty much brushed off the result against Ireland, taking nothing away from Ireland, but that the conditions just greatly deflated and impacted Germany, and then the score, 7-0 against.
Yeah.
It was just too little too late, and then losing a tough ball game to a gritty Czechia team.
And this is a pretty veteran, pretty smart team, these Germans, and how you bounce back from something like that. It was so disappointing. The Ireland loss was crushing for them. A lot of people thought Germany was going to be one of the teams battling to get this European Championship, to come out with a gold medal. And instead, here they are just trying to be one of the clubs that goes on to the Worlds in Japan in 2 years. And this is quite a bounce-back effort from them. And sometimes you just throw a game out. There are games where you want to break down all the film, see how everything happened. That Ireland one, it sounds like they just said, we were not good, we'll be better, let's just move on.
And Germany for a long time has been good. They first participated in the very the opening European Lacrosse Championship in 1995, finishing 6th. They've been to 2 finals, losing to England in 99, 2000. They won the championship in 2001, 2nd and 3rd in 04 and 08, and then 5th the last 2 full tournaments in 2012, 2016. And today they battle for 7th place in the final spot in Japan at the 2027 World Lacrosse Championships. Volkwartson up to 5 in the first half. This may be a stick he puts in a glass case at Southern New Hampshire.
I mean, he is just feeling it. Again, a lovely pass from X. And Volkwartson, the quick hand switch. We were saying he can shoot either way very well. And, you know, guys, a lot of guys are good with both hands. But Volkwartson, honestly, I highlight my players, my lefties, my righties, and I have to decide which way am I going to highlight him.
And the goal occurs just 10 seconds after the timeout.
And that's France with the early struggles. They took their second time out just 2 minutes into the second quarter.
Face off Remy Giacoto, 20 seconds for France. Giacoto searches for an outlet. And he has Lucas Goller. He'll fire it across for Fury with 8 seconds to go. Fury's got both goals. Menendez makes the catch on the move, and he'll add one late with 3 seconds to go. Lucas Menendez on the sweep across.
Boy, that is an active set for France with the pressure on from the late time. Great passing, great foot movement, and that creates an excellent scoring chance on the run for Menendez. And where has that been for the last 29 minutes and 58 seconds?
3 seconds to go in the half.
Sorry if I sound negative there, but I'm sure France is feeling the same way. Like, where has our game been?
They'll have 10 minutes to talk it over. The face-off game has been pretty even. That's the good news for France. And both face-off men really didn't try with this one. And it's officially halftime in Wrocław, 11-3. The 4th seed Germany leading the 7th seed France at the Men's European Lacrosse Championship. Winner clinching their spot to Japan at the 2027 World Lacrosse Championships. We're back in 10 minutes on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
but Florida's only. Start of the third quarter, 11-3 Germany, the fourth seed, trying to close out France, the 7, and the winner clinching their spot in the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship by getting 7th place here, the final spot of these European Championships. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Steven Stamp. Justin Rosenberg is able to win the faceoff on the wing. And the long road begins now, Steven, for Dylan Snyder and his France program. What do you think he told his team during the 10-minute break?
I mean, I think it didn't hurt that they had that really nice play at just in the final 10 seconds, final 2 seconds. They put that goal in. I would think he says, look, there it is. That's how we play. Let's do this. And they've got to be speaking to the defense. They've got to be limiting the opportunities, limiting the space. And it's hard. It's hard to find a way to kind of wake yourself up and get your arousal level to where you need it halfway through a game like this.
David Beckman picks up a 1-minute slash that could help France with an important man up. James Barlow, there he is, and he bounces it through Genoviev. Well, we've been waiting for that in the high slot area. Barlow is heard from. It's 11-4.
Yeah, we talked about specifically this, that Barlow will find a spot. It took a man up to get a chance. And France is continuing to roll here. You wondered for a moment, actually, if they might use a timeout on this non-releasable penalty and just go after, because they have 2 goals in about a minute and a half of game time now. They choose not to. They're going to try and keep the momentum rolling anyway.
Fury on the assist. It's a man-up goal. In this continuous clock, time comes off the penalty too. Giacoto and Nutzman knows this too, so he's going to just look for a stalemate.
And the thing for Fury there, he obviously realizes, as every good setup facilitator guy knows, you have to be a threat first to be a good setup guy. We have 2 flags on the field. I believe they're for the same. Yeah, they are for the same infraction.
So now a hold on Germany, and heading off, number 21, and Lucas Tophoven. So another 30 seconds for France. And still very early third quarter to try to ignite France as they try to come up with a comeback. They faced off pretty evenly. That's the good news for them. Fury throws back for Lucas Goller. Then the pass away from Rosenberg. Then he tries to scoop and go. Followed up by Fury. A valuable time coming off the possession. And the men up as it's forced back by Jake Steinfels of Germany. Goller leaves for Rosenberg. And we're all even. So no shots on this 32nd. Fury trying to shake through Fujita, who falls down. Then he'll take the shot from the angle, and Genoviev was not fooled by it.
So we talked about what France was talking about at halftime. I feel like if we're in Germany's huddle, we would have heard them saying, hey, let's keep doing this. Don't take any penalties. And, obviously not how they meant to start this second half. Let's see how they rebound. We know from after the Ireland game they can rebound.
Marius Butz held on to it, then is stripped. And the ball will go back to France. So a promising start here for the French. They've gotten a goal. They have turned Germany over, and they've won face-offs. Crossing is Matt Hill.
Emile Sisson-Lawless with the ball is the all-time leader in assists in McGill lacrosse history. Got to get a Kufla shout in there occasionally.
And there's a heavily Americanized nature of this roster, but everybody had to attend at least one French League event in the last year. A step down for Rosenberg from Fury, who drew the double, 11-5.
And I didn't speak to anyone at halftime who had a response to how France gets back into this game, but this is how it could happen. I mean, that's not a man-up goal, but it looked like it was because Rosenberg had so much space. It's kind of a reversal of how the game started, which, good for France, making things interesting.
First goal for the talented Justin Rosenberg. who for 3.5 years was a starting goalie in Vermont before becoming a midfielder at the end and played briefly in Major League Lacrosse as a midfielder then. And the Germany coaching staff, Coach Chris Perkinson, who was the head coach at St. Mary's Riken in the tough Washington Catholic Athletic Conference, coached against, at the time, goalie Justin Rosenberg when he played at St. John's College Prep. But there was no scouting report on him as a midfielder then.
And France now has as many goals as Lassie Valkortsen.
On the pickup, goaler, flag is out. And Germany's going to go in the box again.
Goaler holding the side of his head, the side of his neck, and the back. He obviously uncomfortable from that one.
Heading into the box with a 1-minute slash is Fritz Kleinhempel. Third man up already of the third quarter for France. So Germany has given the French every opportunity to truly get back in this game. This was a 6-0 score at a deflating time before finally Gabriel Fury got the first one back. It was a 5-3 second quarter for the Germans. And Germany has led by as many as 8, or make that 9. Rosenberg, outside Fury.
Fury sticking with the high-to-high. Going to see if he switches things up. Obviously, he's got a great shot, but I wonder if he's going to start switching that and try low a little bit.
Barlow, high slot area, wide.
Barlow didn't look like that was a pass that dropped down by his ankles, and you could see the slight double clutch as he caught it before getting the shot off. Don't think that was the shot he was hoping to get.
Fury gives it up. Rosenberg, room and time. That's the look he wants back. 3 shots on this man up. Now we're all even.
Rosenberg flexing the hand again. You can see, similar to what he did very early in the game, he seems to have something going on with that right hand. See if he can get over the top with it, or if he's going to have it drifting off, affecting his accuracy.
Fury, Rosenberg from an angle, goes to the bout shot. So he sticks the landing. 11-6. France with the first 3 of the third.
And gets very much more on top of it, not trying sidearm as much. You can see he gets the head of the stick up, lets the hand draw down instead of having to pull through, and he really rams that one off the turf.
So now France within striking distance. They've done a lot of work to get to this point.
3 goals in 1/2 of this third quarter. They need 5 more, and there's 3 halves of quarters left. So, hey, it's not impossible.
Giacoto trying to keep it going against Nutzman. Rosenberg nearly came away with it before Beckman has it. Beckman will circle. And Germany, first possession in a while. France has scored 4 straight, dating back to the second quarter.
It's interesting, Germany had the 5th fewest penalty minutes in the tournament up to this point with 19 total penalty minutes. So all these penalties here in the second half, a little out of character.
Moritz Spiegel probes. He'll draw a slide from Grattan and now move the ball. Finally, Beckman, after flirting with playing some offense, and the long pole midi will head off. And back to the first midfield for Germany with 6.5 to play in the third. Vismer attacking, bouncer denied. Quentin Richer, who came in early second quarter when the game was 11, make it about 8-1 against. He has stayed in. And now the ball turned over by France during the clear.
And Richard looking pretty sharp, especially on that one with Vismer, the high to low, going for that bouncer. And Richard just seems to be seeing the ball better today than Joseph Varela was on this occasion. Sometimes you throw that backup goal in for a change of pace. In this case, I don't think there's any chance now that they're going back to Varela for today. He's obviously the guy, but boy, Richer is the next guy.
And France trying to build up a pipeline. The significance of playing in the World Championships for a country that's still in the infancy stages of developing full structure in the youth program could mean a lot for the next generation and the next group of young players. We'll get into that further as Vismer will go back to Brandenburger. And now Volkwartson, who had 5 goals, and here is our first stall warning on. Volkwartson with 5 goals and an assist in the first half, as now out of the box, and Germany. Oh, let's see now, another flag is out. Let's see if we get delay a game called. Yeah, procedure is called for 30 seconds against Germany.
Yeah, is that just being too tight on the restart? Because he was trying to get that ball, save that ball from coming across the line, and looked like he had. I didn't see what the original call was for.
And there's a timeout taken here by Germany defensively. 4:44 left. And as good as Germany looked in the first half, they have been sloppy in the third.
Yeah, and before we get to some of the things I know we want to talk about here, did you hear the crowd gasp on that play when Barlow was coming on, when the throw pass was made over to Zinoviev? And yeah, there was an audible gasp from the crowd as that became very close. You were talking a bit about the French program and how they have grown over the last couple of years. They have basically tripled the size of their federation in terms of players in just a couple of years. They're putting a lot into it, and we're going to see that pay dividends, but that takes a while, right? It takes the coaching. It takes the kids having a chance to play, all these players giving back to it. And basically, France, what you can see from that and the efforts they're making and the investments they're making is they're trying to create what Germany has had as kind of the role model for Europe over the last 1 to 2 decades.
And Germany, they are now getting the most talented kids they've ever had at the U19 level. The first junior lacrosse league in Germany began in 2007. And that is now, you're on the verge, as we were talking about, you're probably on the verge of your first, second generation German lacrosse players. Only perhaps England can say they have some second generation athletes so far in Europe that have played the sport, but that's how far ahead the German lacrosse identity is. And it goes back to the late great Jack Cayley, who won national championships at a power program at the Division II level, New York Tech on Long Island. There's a Jack Cayley scholarship for lacrosse players where they give out money to help in the travel for their younger players too. So it's been established for working into its 3rd decade. Fury here on the 32nd man up. Menendez will haul this down. Sasson Lawless from a wing. A good find for Barlow, couldn't convert. Remember that miss. Menendez will still find the loose ball. Teams balance up and we're all even. Rosenberg skips. Fury thought about it from distance before Fujita closed the door. Now inside looking for Barlow. It's broken up by Marius Butz, who nicely rolls it over to his goalie, Zinoviev.
Nice poise from the youngster Boots. Again, the youngest player on this team, looking like Steinfels in terms of his calm and poise, the veteran of the team.
Great opportunity inside for James Barlow, Stephen, to cut it to 11-7, an open chance.
I was trying to see if that first good look that he had just moments before that, if that actually got through or if that was blocked by the defender on that earlier play. I think the defender got his stick in the lane. That was Kleinhempel.
Walking out in front, Spiegel. Soren Spiegel just lost it out of his stick. He was wide open.
Yeah, it just popped right out and straight up about a foot above his stick as he continued his shooting motion. You know, you have to give credit to France. Everyone I think was thinking 11-3. Boy, how do you come back from that? And that can get in a team's head. But France has come out and haven't thought, hey, we need 8 goals. They've come out and you can tell they're thinking, we need a goal. And then we need a goal. and we need to stop, right? You do it one play at a time, and that's how you might be able to do this.
Jack Snyder will continue, and then his stick is viciously checked out of his hands. That was Lucas Tophoven that said enough of this. Also injury time as Tophoven's, I think his body ran into James Barlow, who now hobbles off the field.
Yeah, Barlow favoring that right foot. He's basically just hopping on the left foot and just kind of rolling the right one across the ground.
Then this pass is missed by Moritz Spiegel. Overpass handled by Paul Lefebvre. And the D-Midi, as he'll drop it off, and France with another chance, a third try to get within 4.
And Lefebvre ran into a bit of a sticky moment there with the little bobble as he tried to pick it up. Brandenburger was coming at pace and almost caused an issue. And Lefebvre actually a pretty nice job to use Brandenburger's speed against him with a little step back so he could just calmly walk into the offensive zone.
Fury, and he switches towards right hand.
Shoots low. I like that. We talked about that earlier. He's been ripping high. Change it up a little, and he seems to be moving pretty well. He's not, like we said, he's not running all over the field, but when he's taking his short bursts, he seems to be as explosive as usual.
Rosenberg able to crow hop in, and Zinoviev the save low. Rosenberg had just scored on a shot just like that. This time, Mikhail Zinoviev was ready for it.
And not to harp on Joseph Varela, because he is a good goaltender, but boy, if he'd made about 3 or 4 saves early on shots that he generally, I think, would stop, this is a very different game.
We'll hit the final minute of the third quarter, where Germany has been held scoreless. And now Brandenburger took it into traffic. The pursuit from David Beckman. And then the follow-up ground ball, Soren Spiegel. Loose ball in front of goal. Jack Snyder has it. Time here for France to sprint forward. And they'll slow it down here through Kata Christoph. A big save that was made by Mikhail Zinoviev to keep the score at 11-6 at the 4-minute mark. Snyder will follow over here to Lester Salmons, the secretary of the French Lacrosse Association. The president is also the head coach, Dylan Snyder. Feed into the high crease area, Thomas Diaboost. It is 11-7.
Wow. And Diaboost, just his second goal of the tournament. And this is a little low-to-low rep, just drops ahead of the stick. And France feeling very good. Barlow just clearing out of the way to help create some space there. But my goodness, France is exactly halfway through what they need to do to come all the way back.
Number 10, Thomas Diaboost.
Giacoto came away with it. And Rosenberg does with 5 seconds to go. He's capable with his speed all the way to cage. And Zinoviev making one more save.
Did you think there could be a save, as we came out of the half, that there could be a save that important for Germany in this quarter?
Mikhail Zinoviev, a significant stop. That's another one that will be written down. 11-7 is our score as we head to the fourth quarter. 7th-seeded France has battled back to make this interesting. They're within striking distance of the 4th-seeded Germans. Winner will play in Japan in 2 years at the World Lacrosse Championship. The loser will be in the Division II Championship. We're coming back for the fourth quarter from World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV. gotten them right back into position. It's 11-7 with 15 minutes to go. Steven Stamp, alongside myself, Ralph Bnorchik from Wrocław, Poland. Happy to have you with us. This is the final day, the 7th place game that'll be followed up at 6 p.m. local time by the gold medal game between Israel and Italy. Remy Giacoto wins the faceoff cleanly from Anton Nutzman, and we're underway.
One of the stories of that third quarter, Germany had in 6 games 19 minutes and penalties. In 1 quarter, they just had 3 minutes there. So that is something they're going to have to change.
Justin Rosenberg, which just stopped on a terrific save by Mikhail Zinoviev. And if not for Zinoviev playing well, France is even a lot closer. Lucas Goller gets inside position on Steinfeld, and yet another flag is out against the Germans, Steven, and that theme continues.
Yeah, Steinfeld can't believe it. It's a 30-second holding call, and I mean, boy, the one factor, like France isn't scoring on all of these opportunities, but it really messes up your rotation and tires out your team if you keep being shorthanded.
Sasan Lawless fires to Rosenberg at the top. Fury asking for the ball here near right wing. Fury now in front, Barlow. Textbook man up, it's 11-8.
Barlow almost always looks open. He just has a knack for being in space, and it's when they have a lane they like to pass it. And they found one perfectly there in that quick release. No big wind-up. He just catches it in the middle and bangs it home. And holy cow, 5 straight for France here in the second half. And all of a sudden, a game that looked like it was heading into finding, what are we going to talk about in the fourth quarter? We are wrapped.
Second man-up goal of the second half for France. Giacoto takes a shove from Fujita. It's a play on. Giacoto follows it up. Good check by Beckman to keep it going. They look at the sided on the restraining line. Christoph, big 43 in white, was over there. And out of traffic, that's the toughest ground ball France has won. That was Remy Giacoto going a long way to get it.
And it seems like effort gets rewarded even if it doesn't show up on the scoreboard. Making those efforts does make a difference, and we're seeing France getting the fruits of that labor.
Snyder had the clear. And a timeout is taken by France.
Their first of the second half. Each team has now used 1 here in the second half, so each has 1 more through the final 12 and a half minutes. I would guess you're saving that if you possibly can for down the stretch.
12:30 to go. Looked like it could have been an offside if we had the benefit of the replay of that, but it is 11-8. So Dylan Snyder to keep his team focused with yet another possession. They've looked radically different. Gabriel Fury has looked healthy enough. Barlow and Rosenberg have each scored 2 goals in the second half. Fury has assisted on 3 of the 5 that the French have put in. Those had to be the key guys, Steven Stamp, and they are now.
And Gabriel Fury, who had 12 goals coming into this game, he had 3 assists. And again, he's matched that in a quarter. And that's, we saw, I mean, I'm thinking of Sakos for Greece, who they were in a really tight game early on in the tournament, and he was their top scorer by a mile. I think he had 3 times as many goals as anyone else on the team, and they were having trouble in the game. They completely shifted, and he became their feeder, and that turned the game around. They came back and won a game because of that shift, and maybe France has been thinking the same thing, like, hey, Gabriel, let's have you pass the ball. They're going to be coming out at you. Let's feed. Whatever they're doing, it's working.
Fury, tough defense played by Winton Bastion, who's now in there defensively. Fury, they will take the bouncing shot. Matters into his own hands, 11-9, and we've definitely got a game.
Was it just me that watched him on this play and thought, he's shooting? He's not passing on this one. We just about talked about him being a feeder. That is going to be a shot for him. He said, I am going to go a 2-goal game. This is amazing. This is the stuff legends are made of.
7 straight goals by France. Anton Nutzman to try to change that at the faceoff X. Giacoto has been determined after Prefontaine got the initial nod. And Tophoven crashing through. Lucas Tophoven all the way to goal! He puts up a stop sign, 12-9.
And I'm sure we all expected if Germany's going to turn this around and get things going again, it's going to be Lucas Tophoven that makes it happen, right? Honestly, a big surprise there, but what a play. And he had an eye for the net, a nose for the net, 1 goal in the tournament, and he comes out of that scrum on the face-off, and just, there was nothing stopping him. Wow.
That ends the 7-goal run. Still 10:45 left. Now procedure is called on Remy Giacoto.
And you can hear the difference in the stands. The German fans were chanting defense, defense. They were sounding on edge. After that goal, all of a sudden they are up. And the same energy seems to be happening a little bit now on the German bench, where it's easy to ascribe post facto, say, oh, they're not doing well, so it doesn't look like they have energy. But it really didn't look like the German players had energy on the field until that goal sparked them up again.
Moritz Spiegel, the German attack has been resting for a while. Bastian backed off Salmons, and then Salmons with a quick jab will poke it free and pick it up.
Almost invisible jab. I mean, obviously he was involved in a great pass, but it didn't look like he did anything, but you know he did, because that ball wasn't just dropped. And I was just about to say, we've been giving the French offense, their attack, a lot of credit for what they're doing here. The French defense has looked dramatically different in this half.
Fury steps into another, this time batted back. That's off the body of Beckman. And then Goller has it stripped by the veteran Steinfels. This ball remains in. Steinfels is now shaken up.
He's grabbing at his ankle. Went down immediately. Nice touch by Fury to come over and check if he's okay. But you have to touch back on that French defense. We were on them for... Germany was constantly getting space. It was like they weren't working as a unit. But in this half, you just watch that last couple possessions for Germany in the offensive zone, and the French defense is just moving. There's that feeling when a defense is working as a unit that it just seems like it's just natural, that they're just naturally going somewhere. It's not. You have to communicate. There's a lot that goes into it, but it is clicking now for France. Steinfeld's not quite off the field. That's why play was stopped again for a moment, because he was still making his way slowly to the bench.
Tophoven replaces him defensively. He's typically the second pole to Beckman.
A little confusion on the German defense, it looked like.
Rosenberg, then the overhand shot. I think that didn't get through. Menendez has back up.
Germans look a little more settled now, bringing somebody in for Steinfels, who's just a mainstay and doesn't really leave the field, seem to make them kind of double clutch mentally.
Barlow, that's been his spot. Fury again feeds him to cut it to 2.
Copy, rinse, lather, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. Sorry, look at this. Just what a shot. James Barlow, we talked earlier, he doesn't need a ton of windup. He just reaches around the defender and places that impeccably. This is unbelievable. This is a great game.
Barlow had a very good career playing off of Justin Rosenberg at the University of Vermont. The two have been friends all through college, work out a ton together. And Barlow playing off the midfield of France during this tournament. Fury and Rosenberg, the attention that they command and necessitate from opponents. Face-off win, Gabriel Fardin came up with it. And into the stick of Barlow. And the first time that France has a chance to cut it to 1 is now.
Barlow with 3 goals now. And how long do you think the ball's been in his stick in this game? 4 seconds?
Even less than that, Stephen. It has been in and out and in the back of the cage. Fury fix about it. This time he hits the stick of Zinoviev. He finished on a similar shot like that for the first goal for France to make it 6-1 on a precision snipe.
Yeah, that went stick post, and that is, looks like they're going after Tophoven with Steinfeld still off on the bench.
Skip across, and Fury missed a really good look.
Wow, they are getting open looks here, and Fury, can't believe he missed that one, but it just feels like there are going to be more chances.
Feet in front, intended for Barlow, as he dives and pursues. In and out of the stick of Goller, and into midfield line, the pursuit by Goller. Brandenburger has the backup, then takes a hit of a couple of Frenchmen. Mark Brandenburger looking for open turf. He'll continue, he's to cage, and Richer makes his best stop of the day.
Gorgeous save after a spectacular play by Mark Brandenburger, who the first part of it is being in position, zipping and seeing the recognition to race in and get that ground ball that had been rolling for quite a while, and then just weaving through traffic. That's just high quality lacrosse throughout that sequence.
5:40 left. France has made it a game in the 7th place game, the final spot for the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship in Japan. The loser will be relegated to the Division II World Tournament. Fury shooting low to high, and Zinoviev had it. He never got his weight behind it, and the quick outlet for Moritz Spiegel.
That was a nice defensive shift, Germany. A lot of pressure, help coming down from Boots and one other player coming down to help out on this near side where France has been attacking, and then the recovery, because they were committing a lot of resources down on this side of the net, and the ball swung back around, and they had to get out. And I think they did challenge Fury enough that made it hard for him to, like you said, get everything he wanted on that.
Bastion. Well, Germany still needs more goals, and they have not put this one away. 4:35 left. Volkwart's in. He frees himself and continues, but he misses the cage.
And obviously those are the shots that were going in early for Germany. This one, they missed the net completely, and sometimes that comes from you're starting to feel like you have to be too precise, because Quentin Richer has come in and done a great job.
Soren Spiegel behind Richer. Stays tight to the pipe, makes the save on Wismar, and France has it.
4 minutes to go. Each team with one timeout still in their pocket.
An impressive France comeback. They trailed 11-2 late second quarter and 6-0 after one. Jack Snyder walks it across. The younger brother of the head coach, he'll try. He has backup.
Oh.
Well, wait a second.
No.
The officials are pointing to Germany.
Yes, they are. And Steinfels is back in as well, which I think is huge for them, that veteran presence. Look how calm he is. He's just going to flip it over to the goaltender, and they love having him back on the field.
Three minutes to go. Germany has been held to just one goal in the second half.
This is where the fact that the international shot clock is coming in next year could play to Germany's advantage. Because Because if you start to press, if you're France, if Germany's just killing time, and you start to have to extend and press, that is when Germany could have more looks like they did early in the game where they seemed open all the time.
We wait for a keep it in to be signaled. It is a much smaller restraining box. Bastian, though, says forget that. Perhaps that is the one that seals it. Winton Bastian's shooting has been among the best in this European Championship. 13-10 with 2:06 to go.
Fourth goal of the day for Bastian. He has 17 in the tournament, and what a time to get that when you can see the celebration in that. You can see how much relief there is for the Germans. Excitement, but also a big sigh.
Just when it looked like Germany was about to get a keep it in warning put on them. Giacoto sprawling as he came out of that face-off. Lester Salmons has it. Rosenberg. France looking to get one back quickly. Then Rosenberg tried to flip the pass, but it took it into three defenders, and the takeaway by Fritz Kleinhempel.
We saw Gabriel Fury earlier where we saw him say, I've been setting up, I'm going to take this shot, I'm going to do it. That looked like Rosenberg trying the same thought, and it just was not there with all that traffic. You admire that thought, the effort, but he got himself in a dicey spot.
Soren Spiegel will now take it behind. Richer has yet to come out to double the ball. The officials are going to wait some time before they keep it in. It's a smaller restraining box. It's really a rectangle that extends from both sidelines, so it's not a true box at all. And it's much closer to goal than on North American fields. Keep it in is put on. Feet to the front. Volkwartsen, one more for good measure. Lasse Volkwartsen with a tournament high 6 for himself, 14-10.
And we just spoke of, if you're France, you have to start pressing. Look at how much space there is down low because France has to get out. They have to pressure, and that is the easiest by far of Lasse Volkwartsen's 6 goals. Kai Santowski.
Yep, he ran around and got some cardio in, and then the assist for Volkwartsen's 6th.
Goal scorer number 22, Lasse Volkwartsen.
France still with a timeout to try to help set up any play. But we've seen some wild endings in this tournament. We've had 11 one-goal games, 4 that have gone into overtime.
One of those to triple overtime.
Actually, 2 triple overtimes.
2 triple overtimes.
Giacoto pursues. Man shaken up for Germany. That's Knudsen, the face-off man. And it'll go out to France. And now a timeout taken by the French. France had 2 possessions, Steven Stamp, trailing 12-10, that they could not get a super high quality shot on, but they got very close, and we certainly admire the comeback that the French have made. If they fall short, but this is perhaps a game that means a lot to France moving forward. From 80 official members to over 300 in the last 12 months. They're trying to raise attention of the sport. Great news is that their women's program has finally gotten off the ground.
Yes,
and for
that's huge.
For a big country like France, they have not had a women's team yet. And congratulations to new head coach Morgan Everett, who played collegiately briefly at Old Dominion. She's from Stafford, Virginia. She is taking on the great undertaking of starting a program from scratch on the women's side in France. And this is the way it gets started. And even narrow losses like this perhaps show that with some more work, and there are some building blocks in place, and people like Jesse Chetodal and Paul Lefay that have been there from the very beginning, Jamie Calloway, who is an alternate and a quality second mid, that France, with some work, and they could be in this kind of game again in a not-too-distant future.
Yeah, and we gave credit earlier to Germany for forgetting about their Ireland loss and moving on and coming back and playing well. We have to give the same credit to France for forgetting about that first half because they have not looked like the same team. And this kind of game, they can put this in, put the second half in, and that is going to get young players more excited about playing for this nation.
France ends up turning it over following the shot out of the timeout with under 30 seconds left. Mikhail Zinoviev also at times when Germany might have taken their foot off the gas, he had to stay very good. There were a couple times even early third quarter that France could have made this even closer earlier. And Zinoviev had to step up to it.
And they had a stall warning, and they're actually giving the ball to France here. It's not going to make any difference.
Germany was the 4 seed, a dominant performance in pool play, going 4-0. But the heavy rains greatly affecting their game in the quarterfinals against Ireland, losing in overtime to Czechia. But Germany will come away and win this one 14-10 over France. Germany will be there in Japan in 2 years at the 2027 World Lacrosse Championship.
Germany was a little stunned that they had to play this game to get that berth in Japan, but they responded quite well. Great response by France in the second half, but a couple of key goals. That goal by Lucas Tophoven, huge, and then the Winton Bastion, his fourth of the game, that really sealed it for the Germans as they were reeling a little bit.
This was an 11-2 game before the half. A late goal by Lucas Menendez maybe helped just ignite some fire for France. They put together quite the comeback and put together a 7-goal run to make this fascinating. That Tophoven goal made it 12-9. And then at 12-10, France having 2 possessions before Winton Bastion, seeming like he might run out the clock. He sticks the shot with his 4th, Lassie Volkwartsen adding his 6th to put this one final for Germany. Congratulations to Germany. They finished 5-2. France finishes 4-4 during their time here at the Men's European Lacrosse Championship in Wrocław. Coming up in probably a little bit over an hour, about 6:15 local time, I would say, maybe a little bit before that, on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. A tremendous final. We'll have a first-time champion as Israel will take on Italy, the 1-seed Italy versus the 3-seed Israel, and both nations unbeaten during their time here in Poland. That'll do it for this broadcast. For my partner Steven Stamp, a pleasure. My name is Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long for our entire crew from Wrocław, Poland. 14-10, Germany eliminates France. Germany captures 7th place at the European Championships and a berth in the 2027 World Championships in Japan. We'll talk to you very soon with the gold medal game.
Commercial break! We've been really busy over the past 2 years developing our very own women's lacrosse stick.
We are really, really proud of it. So stop by the shop. We would love to tell you more about it.
Good Stick Co. Come get a stick. Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive. growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse. We honor our Indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
I'm joined here on the sidelines by Paul Lefebvre from Team France after their loss to Germany. Paul, great game from you guys. You showed a lot of resilience. You guys were trailing 11-3 at one point. Made this a very close game, 2 goals. Tell me, what went through the locker room at halftime? What about you guys showed fight?
Yeah, I think it was quite a difficult halftime talk. You know, we came out what we thought was, you know, all guns blazing, but clearly the Germans played their game very well. So we kind of had to switch it up at halftime. So, you know, everyone had to look inside them, and you know, for a lot of us, this is probably our last game. So, you know, individually, we just had to step up, and, you know, we've had some individuals that embody the program that really stepped up. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what the score in the second half was, but I mean, give us 5 more minutes and we would have won that game. And I think that just shows, you know, what we have in this team, and, you know, the future of the program is bright because we've got, you know, the fight in us.
Paul, you've represented French lacrosse since 2014. Tell me what it's been like to represent for 11 years now, and tell me a little bit more about the future of the program building off this tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, so there's me and Jesse, a defender in our team. We've been in this team since 2014, so we've seen the program go from strength to strength. I mean, our first Euros in 2016, Jesse and I, we finished second to last. For us to be fighting with the big boys right now, make a historical quarterfinals in Euros, it's just unbelievable. I've seen this team go from strength to strength, and I think right now, you know, everyone sees us as one of the big teams to watch for. We've got a big program domestically as well. A lot of teams. Last time we had tryouts, we had over 100 players, a lot of domestic players. So we do invest a lot of time and money into the domestic game, you know, and we've got a lot of overseas players that come and help coach the teams in France. So watch out for France. You know, we are there to win tournaments in the future, and we will have a lot of domestic players as well in the future. So it's been absolutely amazing to be in this team for 11 years. And yeah, I mean, shame we couldn't make it at the last second, but you know, I think we've shown the world that we're here to win and we're here to fight.
One more time, Paul Lefebvre of France as they claim 8th place here at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships.
I'm here with number 19, Jake Steinfeldt, after a win over France to secure a spot to go to Japan in 2 years. Jake, first off, you're going to Japan. How's that feel?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, we worked just for this moment. I think we would have wanted the tournament to go a little bit better for us, but just knowing that the next generation of players can go in 2 years and we secure that for the next players to come is amazing.
And the last 2 games, you guys lost. So the vibes probably weren't that high as a team. How'd you pull that together to be able to take this one? Like, you guys came out 11-2 at halftime. You guys came out firing. How did you get that vibe switch up?
Yeah, I think big redemption game for us. The guys were super down. I think especially against the Czechs, we felt like it was a game we should have won. So we just have a team that, despite those losses, we're just stay together and stick together. And waking up this morning, everybody was ready to play it again today, and we knew what was on the table and what was to be done. And the team chemistry is just there. And then we showed up today and just had our fun with it early.
Yeah, like I said, you guys came out hot. Then at half, kind of got a little close. Got fun to watch. It was always fun to watch, but a little more enticing. So how'd you guys lock in at the end to really take home the win?
Yeah, a little bit of a fumble. I don't know why we fell apart a bit. Maybe too confident. Also, just gassed from the tournament. France is amazing players too, and they can get it done for sure. But I think, as I said earlier, we just have this team chemistry. Once we play for each other, we get the ball to the offense, and they do their thing. We trust in each other, and I think that worked out in the end.
you. That is Jake Steinfeld's number 19 from Germany, and he's going to Japan in 2 years.